Hi boys and girls, it is the second week of May and we're on our second week of STEAM art, and we're going to find out some things about funny animals that have to protect themselves from predators. And predators means things that eat them, things that hunt them, things that might step on them, things that listen for them. So the sounds and the colors that they can change their skin or their turtle shells, they're camouflaged so that bigger animals and things that want to eat those smaller animals can't find them. They are camouflaged in a lot of different ways, and a lot of different bugs are camouflaged, and a lot of different animals can change their skin color, something that we can't do. If someone's after us, we just have to run, don't we? Because we're going to have the same thing on no matter what. But the first animal that can camouflage himself that we're going to be making today is a lizard, okay? And we're going to get some Model Magic air dry clay. And what that means is after we make our model, after we make our little lizard, then it's going to dry overnight. And I'm not going to get to do that with you guys because I don't have a night to dry it. I'm going to go ahead and paint it so you can see how you can paint yours, and you can do all different colors if you want to. You don't have to do the same color that I make a real lizard, because lizards are really lots of different names and lots of different colors, okay? Not just the lizards that we have here in Louisiana, because they're kind of plain lizards, aren't they? But this is what's going to happen. You are going to need your small and your large paintbrush. You're going to need a pencil. And you're either going to use your kids' scissors from home, or your parents can cut this for you, or grandparents, or you can use a plastic knife, okay? And that's with parents' permission. Everything you use with Miss Terry has to be with parents' permission, okay? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut the top off the air dry clay, and we're going to get started, okay? But a lizard adapts its skin color to its environment. So if it's walking over leaves, guess what color it can turn? You're right, green. It can turn green. If it's walking over the ground, it can turn brown. If you said brown, didn't you? Couldn't it? So anywhere the lizard is, it can adapt to be the size that it needs to be. Now, what you're doing first is you're going to take all the clay out of your bag, like Miss Terry did, and you're going to mash it into a piece that this lizard, you can use your fist if you want to, like me, and just as flat. And I want you to use your paper like this, okay? Don't do it on your parents' table or something important, okay? Because sometimes things like this stick, and we need it to dry, but it won't stick on your paper because this is real good cardstock, okay? So you don't have to stick it to the paper. So we're making a lizard out of air dry clay. Okay, now it should be dry tomorrow. Now let me show you how to do it. Everybody has white clay. That's why we have to paint our lizard. Let's make sure we get it big enough. I might need a teeny tiny bit more. So just keep mashing. I don't like to be in a hurry even on the video, but sometimes I need to be because I have several things to show you guys. Okay, so I'm going to mash it out a little bit till it's a little bit flatter. Okay, now let me show you a secret, okay? After you get it mashed out, and your lizard's gonna fit on both sides and the back, look, so that you can draw around him with your pencil. You see that? Oopsie, I might need a little bit more for his tail. It's right on the end. It might be okay. Okay, anyway, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna mash him down inside the clay a little bit. And when you do that, you're making a little outline of your lizard. Okay? Now, you see what I'm doing? I'm making a little outline of him. And when I pick him up, you'll be able to see that little outline. Now, some people also like to draw their lizard. So your lizard could look like this if you want to draw it with a pencil, but you gotta go very, very gently with it, okay? You can't mash your pencil down in there. This is white, so it'll show up just fine, and it doesn't have to be a dark line, so just use it lightly around the outside if you don't trust your mashing skills. But the mashing process will work, okay? Now, what's around the lizard, when we get the lizard out of the mold, this is called his mold. When we get him out of here, the rest is for you to make whatever you want to make with it, okay? But if you're not going to make anything else to dry overnight, like if you want to make a little box or a little cup, or if you want to make a little pot to plant a little seed in it, whatever you want to do, see, you go around it like this, okay, and you go all the way around, and like I said, you don't have to mash real hard to see the pencil, okay? If you want to mash hard, it might be a little bit harder to do. Now, when we get ready, guys, we're gonna get it out of here. And the clay's not gonna hurt your pencil either, so don't worry about your pencil, because it just comes right off of it if it does get any on it, okay? So don't worry about it. This is just fun stuff to do. That's why when we do something like this that we need a pattern for, we call it a mold, don't we? Now, I think I went all the way around. Now, I want you to observe. That means watch. Watch and listen and learn. Okay, now I've got it mashed down in there flat, right? Okay, what I'm gonna do now, oh, I hope it works for you. I think I'm gonna go over the tail a minute. Sometimes you can look back and I'm like, I can't really see that. I'm gonna do a better job. Okay, here goes. Miss Terry's going to take it off, see? And when I take it off, I should have the outline of a little lizard. Now, if any accidentally comes up with it, like I've got a little bit sticking, but that's okay. You just peel it off and mash it back down, okay? And you should have the outline of your little lizard, see? It just peels right off. Do y'all see that? Cool, man, we did it. Now, if you want to use your knife, you can go around the edges like this, and you can peel it off. Now, it may go ahead and come off without you peeling it. Or if you want to, you can use your fingernails, or you can use your knife, okay? Or, like I said before, you can get your little scissors and peel it off if you want to, okay? Now, another idea some people had was, they said to tell you guys this, if you want to, you can leave your lizard in there, okay? And you will just have like, it looks like a little lizard fossil, and you will just paint the inside of the lizard. And that way you'll have a lizard in a little picture frame. And you can just paint him like that, okay? And leave the outside of him white if you want to. So you can really do it either way. Now, I want to show you something, okay? Now, this is what we're going to do, okay? You are going to need some glue in a minute. And you're going to need 2 little lizard eyes, okay? Right here in just a minute. But I'll give you some little wiggly eyes to do that with, okay? But first, I want you to look, because I picked these 3 colors. I picked yellow, and I'm just going to put them all out so you guys can see, okay? And I picked green, and I picked brown. Once on my back porch, I saw a little lizard that I just loved, okay? And you can keep this if you want to do it again too, and you can even play with them with Play-Doh and just make a pancake, mash them down in it, trace around it if you want to, or just keep mashing it a little flatter. Now the Play-Doh would normally probably stick more to it, okay? And be harder to get up, like with a shape around it. But he had little yellow stripes down him. But first, I think I'm gonna put some green, okay? Now, I'm gonna say that I'm gonna use my small brush, okay? And I'm gonna leave some little places for some little yellow stripes that go all the way down. And I'm gonna paint some green around him, okay? And I'm gonna leave some little places for a little green on his foot. See? Because I really don't want to put the green, too much of the green on top of his, too much of the yellow on top of the green. But I'm gonna go around the edges with some green because he's like walking in the leaves, okay? He's kind of walking in the leaves. So I'm gonna leave some little places for yellow, leave some little places for brown, and he's gonna look really cool when we finish. I'm gonna get a little bit smaller brush, if it's okay with you guys. Sometimes we just need to change something sometimes, don't we? Yay, Miss Terry remembered to bring her water to the table. Okay, so I'm dipping it in here, and I'm gonna go around. I just needed my brush to be a little bit smaller. I had one of the bigger ones. Now I'm gonna go all the way around his whole foot again like this. And sometimes it, like whatever you make, it may go a little bit deeper than you wanted it to, but that's okay still. Because if you, oops, I just dipped that in the brown. Anyway, I'm gonna put brown around the outside edges so that he's kind of outlined in brown, okay? Okay, and I'm gonna go back to my green. Okay, so he's gonna have a little bit of green and a little bit of brown on him. Now I'm gonna put some more green around this leg. And in a minute, when I wash out my brush, I'm really gonna have to wash it out great, okay? Because the yellow is gonna go in the middle of the green. Okay, I'm just making some small yellow stripes on him. Okay, I hope he looks okay. We'll just see, because I'm just playing and trying this out with you guys. Okay. Okay, let me get some more. It's so easy to dip it in the wrong color, isn't it? Well, it's easy for me, maybe not for you. I kind of like him just mashed in there. So there were 2 ways you can pick to do it. If you want to leave him just mashed in there and paint him like me, he'll have sort of be on a white background and it'll look like a little fossil, huh? That maybe he died in the mud or something and this dried. So anyway, we're gonna do it this way. We're gonna go all the way around his little tail. And I'm gonna make some little yellow stripes inside his tail too. Okay, and I'm gonna come back and outline it in brown, okay? Because one thing I know just about by outlining pictures is that for me, I like to outline in the darker color. But you may like to do it a different way, and that's great. Whatever you think looks best for you. Because you are your own creative self. Remember? And believe me, Miss Terry's learned that all boys and girls are different. You are super different from your brothers and your sisters and your friends. You are super different from everybody. And that's how God made us special, isn't it? Because we all have our special ways about us. Now, I'm going to kind of leave him like this, okay? Now, I'm going to try to, I'm going to put a little bit more green up to his head, okay? You do not have to do this the way that I'm doing it, okay, guys? You do not, okay? You can do it your own special way, okay? So, I'm going to wash this out really, really well. Nothing left on it. Napkin. I'm going to dry it off because you don't want it to be watery, okay? Not on this lizard anyway. Sometimes our paint's good watery, but not today. Now, I'm going to go up his little back. See what I'm doing? And I'm going to make some pretty thick yellow stripes because I'm not getting to let things dry. Like, you can let things dry. You can let the green dry before you put the yellow on, but Miss Terry's not getting to because I have to do this video. Okay, so I put a little stripe down the middle of, oh, mercy, I did it again. It's so easy to dip in the wrong color. Y'all forgive me. Okay, here we go. Never give up. You keep on going. That's my motto. Keep it going. So, he's going to have a little yellow stripe. And most of the time, you're going to see lizards in grass. So they're going to look really, really green, real green, aren't they? Sometimes you'll see them on the dirt, but usually they get right back in the grass pretty quick, especially if they're trying to run and hide. I did that again. Can you believe it? Okay, I'm going to make his little foot a little greener. Okay, now, I'm going to wash that out a little bit more. Dry it off. And go to this side of his foot. And keep painting. And if it mixes a little bit with the green on his body, that's okay. Kind of like when we did our rainbow colors, do overlap each other. And they make prettier colors, don't they? Even when they overlap. Now, we're going to try to put a little brown around the edges now and see how he looks. Okay, and then I'm going to get some little eyes to put on him, okay? And I'll make sure you have eyes in your little bags when you take this home with you, okay? So you may have to use your glue for the eyes, but everything should be dry the next morning, okay? Now, if you want to go back and smooth out your paints a little bit, it's easy to get lumpy, isn't it? So if you think you need to smooth them out a little bit, you can, okay? Remember, this is his back, so really his little eyes may not show up a little bit, okay? But go back over everything and smooth it out. I always have to do this. So he sort of has a straight little stripe down his back. And I just want it to be smooth. Just like there's a little foot inside the big foot, huh? Okay, now I think that's about as smooth. It's not hard to paint on clay, but what is hard is to make it smooth and straight like a piece of paper. Because when we use a piece of paper, it's always smooth and straight. Clay is not. as smooth as that, but it's not hard to paint on at all. Okay, now Terry's gonna go to brown. I really like it just green like this. So if you don't want to outline in brown, you do not have to. I just want to try it out. But if you do outline, be very, very careful, because clay is lumpy. Okay? So you have to make little lines. You have to dip y'all see how I'm just dipping the very tip of that brush in there, not even halfway up the brush, just the very little tip. See, and I'm just going around the outside edges just so you can see the shape of it a little better. Maybe it can look a little smoother, huh? See? Ooh, Lord, it's so easy for me to get in the wrong color. Okay, just going around the edges. I don't think I even dipped it in there. Okay, just the end of it needs to be dipped. You have to go real slow, because this part, if you're really doing a thin line around it, it's almost like you're drawing with the tip of a pen. Okay. But if you don't want to, you do not have to do this part, okay, guys? You don't have to do this part. But if you'll notice, I just do one segment of a line together. I mean, don't whip around it real quick. Just do one part of a line and then go to the next part of the line, okay? Don't forget about when we talked about if you don't really have to fill your brush up with paint every time you do a line, because it has paint all around it, really, so you can just turn it around with your hand. See how I'm doing that? I'm kind of twisting it, and the other side of your paintbrush has lots of paint on it too, doesn't it? So this is the part that takes the longest, because you have to go very slow. Okay, and be very neat. And we're just learning things, so I don't want you to get discouraged, okay? Because we're learning how to outline, we're learning how to paint, and we're learning, ooh, Lord, learning how not to get your brush in the wrong color. That's what Miss Terry's learning today. And you're just learning everything there is to know about painting. I don't know why I want to do that. Okay, there we go. I just want you to notice that I do not get in a hurry. Okay? Just one part of at a time. One little part at a time. See? Woo! Now, if you do like me and you stick it in too far one time, just wipe it on the side of your paint cup. Okay? Okay, so sometimes you might need to go over it for a little bit. Okay, we're at the very end now. And there's our lizard. You see him? And I'm going to put my brush in my water for a minute. And you can pick him up off your paper pretty easy. See, even if he's wet, or you can get someone to help you. And if you're still making art projects, guys, you can just move him to dry somewhere else tonight, okay? See him? I love him. And I mean, he really is not always these colors. Wherever he walks and wherever he goes, he can be different colors. But I'm gonna move on to another part of something we're making today. And he just needs to dry flat, and don't put your fingers in him, okay? But we're gonna make a little bug. Now, there's a little bug that just has to be put together, okay? So, you have a picture of your bug, and it has all the pieces that you need. This one is a ladybug, but there are all kinds of little bugs in the different bags, and it has all the pieces that go with it. I want you to notice it has its little wings that go on the side, okay? And you may, like this one has little marks that you use on it, so you may want to get out your, got some little eyeballs you don't want to lose, okay? Should be one more little eyeball in here. You are gonna need your glue, okay? Now put all your pieces together like me. The short ones are the little antennas. But each little bug, like that was our lizard, we're learning about animals that adapt to their environment. And this is how a ladybug adapts. He has little wings that flutter, okay? He has little back wings under these, okay? But everything we make today, guys, is gonna be on the popsicle stick, okay? Now, your popsicle stick might be any color, so I don't want you to worry about what color it is. You might need your crayons because you are gonna need to put the dots on his back. And I hope my black is right here where I can see it. So, here is everything we need. Our bug so we can look at it, our parts spread out so we can put them together, and we'll have this together in just a minute. And it's okay, guys, to have your, I'm trying to think, to have your stick a different color. It's okay. The body of this is just gonna be a different color. Now, here's his head, okay? So I'm gonna start at the top and go down. You can do it any way that you want to. I'm going to open up my glue, and every time I use glue, I always try to clean off the top of it, because if we use it a lot, and which we do, it kind of gets stuck up there, doesn't it? Now, I'm going to put a dot at the end of my popsicle stick, and I'm going to stick that in. Okay? Now, I'm going to make 2 little dots of glue. Okay, guys? 1 for each eye. See, I barely touched that glue to get a little dot, didn't I? Now, while you're making this, do not pick it up. Okay, guys? Don't pick it up because it needs to dry overnight just like the lizard. In fact, it would be great if it just dries just like this overnight. So, you have 2 eyes and you have your head already on there, don't you? Now, you have 2 little antennas to put on him. And these little antennas, if you want to, you can twist it around and make it curly, okay? Like, sometimes I do it like this. It doesn't have to be real curly, but you can bend it, and it should curl up really easy. Now, I want you to notice what I'm gonna do. You see how I curled them? Now, I'm gonna put a teensy tiny dot, and I mean baby teeny, okay? Baby tiny dot. Baby tiny dot. And I'm just gonna slide it right under its head and mash it down. slide it under its head and mash it down. He has a good antenna right there. See? And they're not going to be perfect, but that's cool too. Okay, there we go. Now, we have the little red part for the wings. Now, before you glue these on, make your little black dots, okay? The reason is because if you put them on and your glue's wet, they're going to come right off, okay? And that's just going to be messy. And it's hard to get them back on. So, we have little dots right on the ladybug's wings. Now, do you see the back of this in the middle? That's all I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue right down the middle. See, like that, about the size of the wings. And I'm going to put them on that glue. Same with this side, and they kind of open, boys and girls, so that's okay too. Kind of like this side, so it opens a little bit. And I'm going to mash it down, and then I'm not going to touch it. Do you see how they're flapping up a little bit? Okay. Now, these are sticky ones, okay? Now, first of all, let's stick some little legs underneath, okay? These are just little legs that, that you can bend underneath them if you want to. You can cut them off if you think they're too long. Whatever you need to do. I'm just bending them kind of like a fan, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and bend. I'm only going to make 3, okay? That you kind of have some extra ones, okay, guys? But they're going to be kind of like little insect legs, and there will be 6. Insects have 6 legs. But you only need 3 pieces to make 6 legs, don't you? Because it'll be 2 legs on each side. Okay, so do you guys see that? Be super careful doing this. Maybe I should have done the legs first. Think about that. Okay, you may want to do your legs first, because you'll end up like Miss Terry with an antenna coming off. There, I got it. Now, here's the way I'm going to do this. I'm going to put some glue on the back, okay? And then I'm going to stick one little leg on. Well, this will be 2 legs. See? You may want to bend the little bottom up. I'm going to stick one on. Okay. There you go. Stay down there, little leg. I'm going to stick 2 on. Okay. And I'm going to stick the 3rd one on. Try to get it in the middle. I know it's kind of hard. I'm not perfect either by any means, believe me. But Miss Terry always tries her best. Okay, now I got legs on. Okay, see that? Now go back and mash this back down. Oh Lordy, really? It's okay. Miss Terry's gonna do it like this. Okay, I'm just gonna stick them on like this. Oh, y'all think I'm funny. One thing I've learned is to be patient. Okay, so I've got legs. Okay, I have got some legs on this ladybug. Okay, you may have to work with it a little bit, but you should have 6 legs, and you should have 3 on each side. Okay, and then you can mash in the middle until you get them exactly like you want them. Exactly. Okay, you want to mash everything down. Now, there's our little ladybug. I'm sorry, I said the wrong thing, didn't I? Now, these are his pretty little wings, and they are all going to be sticky, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fasten them to the back. And I got glittery ones, just sort of so they would be shiny and pretty. Okay? And they are on the back. And we're finished with him. Okay? Now, if yours doesn't look exactly like the picture, I don't want you to worry about it, okay? But this one is mine, and I'm sticking to it. And I'm not going to touch it right now because I'm just going to be drawing next. We've got one more thing to do, don't we? Our pretty little turtle. Now, the turtle today is going to be in blue, pretty ocean water. And since it's water, it's going to be watery. So the first thing we're going to do, guys, is I'm going to let yours be watery today, okay? So I want you to take your water and dip your brush in it and get it wet. Get it really wet. And then I want you to get some blue paint. And I might get it a little bit wetter. Now sometimes we do stuff like this, don't we? You can't ever tell because we want him to look like he's in water. So you're going to make some little watery blue waves all around him. Not too dark. Y'all see how I'm making the waves? Because he's underwater. Isn't that pretty? So I've got pretty little blue waves. Okay. I said on the information sheet that gives you directions that you can use your watercolors if you want. To me, I like to use acrylic because on the I've always told you since we've been working together that your acrylic paints stay better, don't they, on a canvas. And this is called a stretch canvas, okay? And if you watch what I'm doing, you don't really have to go all the way to the turtle. And if you want to sneak by and get some more paint, just keep making those little circles on it, just like when we painted the ice cream cone last month. We just made little swirls. Well, we're just making this look like little swirly waves of ocean water because the current is always going through the ocean. So it's like, the best way I can describe it is it's almost like the wind is always blowing under the ocean, isn't it? And it really is. It's like the current and the tide when the tide's coming in. If you want to, go back and make you some more little waves. See how they do? Like that. Now, he's in the water, and I can tell he's in the water. Now, put your big brush up, and you're going to get your small brush again, okay? Wash it out really, really good. Now, this is not going to be hard, okay? The only thing you're going to need is you're going to need the yellow and the green, okay? And I'm just going to kind of put some tops on things so I don't mess anything up because I don't need any more brown, do I? And you always, guys, want to keep your place that you're working clean, okay? So that you don't make messes. Okay, here we go. Now, this is the way I'm going to do it. You do not have to paint it like me. But do you see his little armor on his shell? This is his protection. And it keeps him safe. And if he ever gets scared, he'll go hide, like under a rock or behind some leaves or something, and he can just go right up in that shell, can't he? And someone who's walking by will just think he's a rock or something. They won't even think he's a little turtle, and they won't eat him, will they? They'll just think that he's a little rock or something. He's really camouflaged. So there are different colors of turtles. This is a little sea turtle. Okay, so he lives in the ocean. What's cool about sea turtles is they still have to have air to breathe, but they can stay underwater for a really long time. Okay, and they have to come ashore at the ocean to have their babies. Now I'm just gonna to lay their eggs. They cover it in sand, and they just his little eggs stay warm without them having to nest on it like a chicken stays on his little legs to keep them warm. Turtle doesn't have to do that. He lays them and then he leaves. But when those little sea turtles hatch, they have to scamper really fast back out to the ocean so that they can live, because there are going to be birds waiting to get them and eat them. But there are people called conservationists that check on these turtles and make sure that the baby turtles get in the ocean and are able to live in the ocean without getting eaten up. So their whole job is to save the animals that are in the ocean that get hurt by people who are in fishing boats, people who are fishing or swimming or jet skiing or whatever you're doing out in the ocean. If you throw something out that's not good for little turtles or fish, you could make them sick and they could be rescued by someone. When there was the big oil spill, do you remember how they rescued all the little birds and they brought them in and washed all the oil? That's caused by people, because there was an oil spill in the ocean and they couldn't breathe anymore, and lots of fish died and everything. So when we're out on the water, even at the lake, we need to make sure that we don't litter. That can make fish and birds that grab up the litter, it can make them very, very sick. And if enough of them get sick and die, they become endangered. And what that means is there's not enough of those animals left to replenish the earth and have any more. So there are lots of endangered species just because of things that we do that we don't even think about when we're out having fun in water. And so we have to be careful with that. And we have to help take care of the little animals that live in the oceans, at the beach, in the lakes. So that they keep growing and they're happy and healthy underwater. Now, this sea turtle, looks more like a baby one, doesn't it? But this sea turtle can get very big, and it can live a very long time. They have long lives unless they have an accident and get hurt by something big that comes along and wants to eat them. They can breathe outside of the water, so they can stay under a long time, probably about 15 minutes, but then they have to swim back up to the top and get some air in their lungs, and then they can dive back down and search for food. So much fun. I love the ocean, and I love to learn about things that live in the ocean. So this is Miss Terry's little sea turtle, and he probably has some brown on him too. He might, but remember, he's also camouflaged with the water, so predators and things that might want to eat him can't see him very easily. But he can hide in coral reefs like little fish do. So that's our little turtle, and I think he's just adorable. But that's how I decided to make him. And he already has his little feet and everything, and he's just swimming in the water, having a good day. I hope I get to do that this summer in the ocean. Go swimming at the beach. My favorite thing to do in the world. Now, we have bugs. We have bugs with camouflage on them, with protective wings and protective legs, and looking for little smaller bugs to eat. We have lizards that change colors like this very quickly, right when they go over something. If this lizard's in the sand, he's the color of the sand. Wherever he is, that's the color they are, and that's their protection and how they're protected. Now, we have some fun stuff under this that is to draw, and I want to show you something else cool. I couldn't do this kind of lesson without making a green frog. Frogs are fun to draw, but I'm I'm going to start just like number 1 says. I'm going to make an oval, and I'm going to try to do this upside down, but I'm not going to promise you it's going to be perfect. But I'm not going to do this right here because that means you have to erase. I'm just going to go around and make a bigger bottom, okay? Now, let's go ahead and make him some eyes. And a frog's eyes, he looks like he has bug eyes all the time. Now he has a black middle. I'm just doing it like this. I love to draw frogs. I think they're so much fun. And a big smile. And if I could draw his tongue, he has a long tongue, doesn't he? So he can get a fly real easy. Now, here we go. He's got some little legs with webbed feet. Okay. And he can hop as high as he can to get away from things that might want to eat him. Okay, so we have his front feet, and now we have to make some back feet, and we're going to come around like this to make the back feet. I almost made my frog too big, didn't I? But this is just for fun. Let's just remember, Miss Terry's not perfect either. But it's fun to draw frogs, isn't it? Just big foot in the back. Do you know that some people eat frog legs? Ooh, I can't imagine doing that. But anyway, some people like to eat frog legs, and you're probably saying, my daddy eats frog legs. And now you can draw him some little spots if you want to. He does have spots, doesn't he? On him. He's starting to look like he has 3 little spots up here. He's starting to look real now, isn't he? After you put the little spots on him. Maybe one on his cheek. Under here. And that's our little frog for the day. And if you want to, you can paint him green, okay? And you can draw your own little frog. There's some other things to draw. And an elephant. An elephant's fun to draw. But there are some things to color in here. And this is a Coke float on front. So I hope you get to draw a Coke float. And you can just do that with your crayons if you want to. And you can make it different colors, guys, okay? But read about your bugs and how they adapt to their environment, okay? And that is each kind of little bug that you have to make, and it tells you how to make it. So you can look at your directions if you need to. Sometimes it's easier to look at what Miss Terrye does on video and see how much fun it is. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's lessons, and I will see you our last week in May, which is next Monday, okay? So come and get your pickup bags and have lots of fun drawing and painting and making things. Thank you. Bye-bye.